Hey, Define Yourselfer, welcome back. And if you're new here, I'm Chris, and this is a space where we talk about living confidently autistic. Today, we're diving into a really important discussion: how words shape our identity, perception, and our self-worth. Specifically, we'll explore identity first versus person first language, reclaiming the word autistic, and why owning your narrative really matters. Hey, Define Yourselfer, I am the Confident Autistic. I'm an autistic adult, late diagnosed. Here on my YouTube channel, I share videos that will help you understand autism and build the confidence necessary to live life confidently autistic. Now, if this resonates with you, please subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to ring the bell to be notified of new videos and when I go live for my weekly Q&A live stream. Now, I want to acknowledge that there are different opinions within the autism community on the topic we're discussing today. And that's okay. This conversation that we're doing right now isn't about telling anyone what they should say. It's about understanding the impact of language and making an informed choice for yourself. Let's start with definitions. Person first language, or PFL, means putting the person before the diagnosis, as in person with autism. This approach was encouraged by medical and educational institutions as a way to emphasize that a person isn't defined by a diagnosis. On the other hand, identity first language, also known as IFL, embraces autism as an inherent part of who someone is, as in an autistic person. Now, while person first language was well intended, many autistic adults prefer identity first language. Why? Well, because autism isn't something separate from us. It is a part of our identity. Some would say an intricate part of our identity. Being autistic is like being tall or left-handed. For many people, saying autistic person is a way to take ownership of who we are rather than treating autism as an add-on or a burden, because it's not. It's not an add-on. It's not a bonus feature. We did not opt into it, and it's not a burden. It makes us unique. Now, at the end of the day, language is personal. Every autistic person should have the right to describe themselves in the way that feels right to them, and that choice should be respected. For a long time, the word autism or autistic was used clinically and sometimes even negatively. People saw it as if something was wrong or was broken with themselves or the person they were labeling as being autistic. But the autism community has worked hard to reclaim the word autism and autistic as a neutral or even a positive descriptor for a person. Because here's the truth: autistic is not a bad word. Let me say that again. Autistic or autism are not bad words. Saying I'm autistic isn't something to be ashamed of. It's an acknowledgement of an important part of who we are. When we reclaim the term autistic and use it with confidence, we challenge outdated stereotypes and create a more accepting world. Now let's talk about the power of owning your narrative. Language impacts how we see ourselves. Growing up, I struggled with feeling different, and I didn't always have the words to describe why I was feeling different. But when I first started self-identifying as autistic and doing that identifying as autistic with pride, something shifted within me. I wasn't broken or too sensitive, which is what I thought about myself beforehand. I realized I was autistic, and that is okay. When autistic people define themselves rather than letting others do it for them, it is a powerful act of self acceptance. Whether you prefer identity first or person first language, the key is that you get to decide if you want to go by person first or identity first. So take the time to explore which resonates with you the most, and don't be afraid to own your story. Now let's talk about some common myths and misconceptions. Myth number one, identity first means defining yourself only by autism. Now, some people worry that using identity first language means that autism is the only thing that defines who they are. That is not true. Not at all. Erase that from your mind if you're thinking that way. Autism is a part of your and my identity. But just like being a musician, a parent, or a cat lover is one of many parts of who we are. Myth number two, person first is more respectful. Respect isn't about which language you use. It's about honoring individual preference. So if someone prefers person with autism, respect that. If they prefer autistic person, respect that too. Simple, right? Myth number three, labels are limiting. Labels can be limiting if they're imposed on us by others, but they can also be freeing when they help us understand ourselves better. Many of us who are autistic felt lost before discovering that we were on the spectrum. Finally, having a word for our experiences gave us clarity and confidence. Words matter. They shape how we see ourselves and how the world sees us. Whether you use identity first or person first language, the important thing is that you feel empowered by your choice. Now it's your turn. I would love to hear from you. What language do you prefer? Identity first or person first? If you feel comfortable, share that in the comments and, elaborate. Why do you prefer one over the other? Now, everyone's opinion is valid, and we have a no judgment zone here, so keep that in mind. So somebody prefers let's say you prefer person first, somebody prefers identity first, respect their opinion. No arguing, because I will delete those comments. But I know you're all very supportive and understanding people, so I really don't need to say that. But just in case there's a troll watching, I'm watching out for you. So what language do you prefer? How has embracing or rejecting labels impact your confidence? Drop your comments below. I may not respond to all of them, but I do read all of them. And let's keep this conversation going. Until next time, this is the Confident Autistic, aka Chris Mitchell, reminding you that I'm always here to help you live life confidently autistic.